Today I'm talking about parenting teens, the 7 secrets to success. This is part 3 of this 7-part series. So to tell you a little bit about who I am, I'm Carlene Lehmann, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I have a private practice located in Austin, Texas. You can visit our website at www.relationshipsmatteraustin.com, and we have a lot of information on there to share with you and to support you on this journey as you're parenting your teens, which can be challenging at times, right? So a little bit about my background is that I have experience working with teens in the public school system. I've been a general education and a special education teacher. I help support kiddos that struggled with emotional regulation, and they also had challenges with interpersonal skills, getting along, knowing how to behave in certain situations with their peers and also their teachers. And, I did social skills groups with them. I worked one-to-one, and I could be right there with them when they were having those challenges and talk them through it and give them some downtime and a break so that they could calm themselves down. And then we could process what happened and talk through it. And it was a really rich opportunity to be there and work with them in that setting. And I worked with their parents too, because they had anxiety and they had their own set of fears for their students. And as they navigated supporting them with their child's special need and getting them the support that they needed, whether that was at school or in the community. And then now as I do my work as a therapist, I have a private practice and I support teens and their families. And I really enjoy working with parents because it can be an isolating time, especially during the teen years, because we can get more busy in our careers and their activities. And it just, there's so much going on for everybody at this stage. And so for parents to know they're not alone and that there are tools and answers out there to help them. And then I'm also a mom of 3 teenagers. So I'm right there on that parenting journey with you. And each one of my kids is unique and has presents a different set of challenges that I've had to learn and grow with. And then I have one child that has Asperger's. So I do know what it's like to support my own child who has special needs as well. So here are the 7 secrets to success. I've also had a part 1 and 2. So this is part 3, and I'm just going to review all 7. So part 1 was we became an expert in adolescent development. 2, we talked about the 3 things that teens needed most, which are love, boundaries, and power. And then today we're talking about number 3. We're going to employ new communication techniques. Number 4 is allowing your teen to fail. 5, being a good role model. 6, we're going back to the basics. 7, we're going to develop and nurture a support network for ourselves. So today is talking about communicating with our teenager, which, oh my goodness, I think that's one of the top things that can bring folks into my office, and for parenting and for couples work, right? Growing up, we didn't get a lot of instruction on how to communicate with folks, and especially when we're in a close relationship where we are with them day to day, that is challenging. It brings up the parts of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. and it tests our patience at times, right? So something to remember as we're talking about this today is that there are many changes during adolescence. They are becoming more peer-focused, more focused on their friends, and they're wanting to share their intimate details with them instead of us. And that can be very hard. I remember when my first child stopped sharing as much with me, and it seems like it can happen with boys sooner. And sometimes, it doesn't happen with our girls quite as much, but with our sons, they are wanting to hold it in, and they're having more privacy about those feelings and the things that they used to just run home and tell us, like what happened at school and how so-and-so said something and it hurt their feelings, and we were right there and involved, and we could be there for them and provide suggestions or a hug. Oh my goodness, a hug could go a long way. And now it's more challenging for our teens, the types of situations that they're having, and just a hug alone doesn't cure it. And so for us to remember that when they're starting to create more distance and not share all those details with us, it's not personal, right? So I want to say that again. It's not personal. It's so easy to take it that way, though, because it happens so fast. Like they've been sharing with us, and then all of a sudden they're not sharing as much, and we're starting to wonder what's going on with them. Like, are they okay? And we don't know because we don't have all the information, and we may ask them, but they may not want to say. And that's okay. We don't need to push them to tell us, unless you see some, more concerning signs coming from them. Give them some space. Allow them that privacy. We wouldn't like it if someone was forcing us to tell them our deep, dark secrets either. So, and in time, as they process their feelings, and it's not, they have a little distance with those situations, they may be ready to share some of the details with us. So knowing that they're not going to always share information directly with us, we need to get good at what I call indirect communication. So some of the things that involve that are learning to read their body language. So one of the plus of having that relationship with our kid is that we've learned about them and their body language, and we can tell when something's off, right? So that's helpful. That helps us. And then we also want to get to know our teens' friends and then their friends' parents as well. And invite the friends over. Have what I call an open door so they can come bring their friends over and have fun. Food goes a long way, especially with the boys, but with any teen, having food. And a tip is having some things like in your freezer that you can just pop into the oven or the microwave and heat up real fast if they, unexpectedly have a bunch of friends come over, that you can pop out and, have out for them to eat. That is huge. And it makes your house a place that they want to come to. And one of the reasons you want those friends to come over is that, you're going to give them their space, but you can kind of hear conversations and things that they're talking about and keep a pulse on what's going on, and are these good relationships for them, and just to know more about what's going on in their life. And it's just that you're hearing it going on in the background as you're doing other things that you need to do. You'll hear them talk. And that's really neat to be able to still have that information. And you're providing a safe place for all of them to go to that you know that they're going to be okay, that it's a supportive environment, and they're not getting into doing some things that might hurt them. And then we want to know all the adults who play an important role in our teen's life. So we want to get to know the teachers. We want to be going to those open houses and other events at school. We want to get to know the coaches that they have, the youth leaders, those types of relationships. And we want them to develop relationships with other adults. We alone cannot provide it all. Like this whole thing of them becoming more responsible and independent and growing into an adult, I believe it truly does take a village. And so it's important for them to have those opportunities and to learn from other people, because at these ages, they will take that kind of information from other adults a little more seriously. And they definitely remember everything we've taught them. They may not always act like it or acknowledge it, but they do. It's in them. But they're open to hearing other people's experiences, and, them hearing similar values from other folks. It only strengthens what we've been teaching them. So it's a positive thing. We also want to focus on our relationship, our connection with our teen during this stage, because they can have doubts, they can have questions, and sometimes they'll think, oh man, my mom's not supportive, even when or my dad, or whoever, but when we've been the most supportive and continue to be, but they kind of lose sight of that and have doubts about that at times. And then we want to create comfortable moments where communication can unfold naturally. And I'm going to talk some more about that. So during this stage, depending on how you parented before, you may need to alter your communication style, because oftentimes when they're younger, we kind of more directive in how we're talking to them about what they need to do, right? Like, okay, you need to go get your clothes on. You need to put on your shoes because we're about to leave, and we have 5 minutes before we're heading out the door to go to school, or those kinds of things, right? Or you might have given them choices on the clothing, like, do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? But it was more of a directing that we had to do, and reminding them about things. And now it's different. It's we're more of a sounding board. We're more there to give suggestions, right? To engage them in conversation, to talk to them and ask them questions that can help them think about things, but not to tell them what to do so much anymore, which that's a big shift. That's a big change when we've been doing the other for, 11, 12 years of their life. And we probably got pretty good at that, right? So another thing is that we want to identify our non-negotiable rules and expectations for them. So we want to take out time away from them. And if we have a partner, we want to talk to them so we can be a team with these rules and expectations. We can be on the same page. So we have to think about what are the things that are non-negotiable, that they just have to be that way because of safety, right? And that's just the way it is. And our teen may not understand, they may be upset, and that's okay. But we need to take time to think about and write those down and talk with your partner about it, so you can explain, because your teen is going to ask you why. They're going to ask it many times. Why that rule? Oh my God, this seems so unfair. I can't believe, you're ruining my life, right? Those kinds of things that they can say. And the more we have a deep understanding of why we have those rules and expectations, the easier it'll make talking to them about it and explaining it. And so when we think about all the other things that aren't our non-negotiables, those are things that when our teen has some issue with, like, we need to be able to talk to them and dialogue about it and hear them out on what's going on for them. And, hey, well, what would you want instead? Yes, it may be like totally off the charts and like something we are not okay with or comfortable with, right? But they may come up with things that are like, you know what? I can negotiate. I can compromise on that. It's not a safety issue, right? And so on the other things, we need to be able to do that and to have that open discussion and be willing to change things and alter things when it's not going to cause them detriment. And we want to listen to what they're telling us with respect. We want to role model to them what respect looks like. If we don't do that, then how can we expect them to talk to us in a respectful way? So that is really big, to role model that. We want to listen not just to the words they're saying, right? Because there will be times they're like, I hate you, I can't believe you're doing this, right? As they're telling us, right, as their parent. And not just hearing the words, right, but hearing what's underneath it, the feelings, right? So we can reflect back, like, I really hear that you're angry and upset and that you're feeling frustrated about this rule that we have, or that we're having this obligation that we have to go to this event as a family, right? I hear that you're really frustrated that you're going to miss time with your friends, and empathize with them. And in those kinds of situations, we can, offer, yeah, we do need to go to this family event, but here's another day that you could have that friend over instead, because I know that's really important to you. And it's important for me that you have that time with your friends. I want you to have that time with them. So how about there's another day over here that we can do that, and then we are going to go to that family function. And then we want to avoid problem solving for them. We don't want to tell them what to do, because that doesn't go over very well. That causes a lot of power struggles. We want to do more of that suggesting, right? So we also want to ask them questions that help them think about it and let them think through possible solutions. And we can even ask, like, what are some different ways that you think, that you could solve that or that would work in that situation, and just kind of let them talk and see what they think. And this is so important, because the way we learn how to do this is by doing it and trying and seeing what other people's responses are and reactions are to us, and to see how it plays out. So today we've talked about the communication piece, and just to reflect on that we want to remember to come from a place of understanding and empathy. It can be important to soften our tone, to be more in a soundboard and provide suggestions, and really lots and lots of listening to them is so important. So if you're needing more support on this, or if you have any questions at all, I would love for you to share those with me. You can leave them in the comments, or you can call or email me. I would love to answer your questions. Like I said, I don't want any parent to feel like they're alone with this, because it is hard. It's hard even when we have a good support system in place. And so if you're feeling alone and you're having doubts about what you're doing, God, I want you to reach out and ask. And whether that's for me or someone else, like, we need to get that support as a parent. So if you'd like to stay connected with us, you can go to our website, which is relationshipsmatteraustin.com. And on there, you could sign up for our monthly newsletter, or we also have articles and videos on our blog. We also have more information on our services. We have parenting support services and teen counseling and also family counseling as well. And then you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And then you can also contact us by phone or email, and the phone number is 512-994-0432, and the email is Carlene@relationshipsmatteraustin.com. And I look forward to talking to you, and I wish you well as you go along this parenting journey, and I want you to take care.